or not. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. It started. It just started. I guess the system's running a little slow. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to week number 6. This is the last week. And I really want you to take out the time and think about what you've learned from the beginning. And a lot of you learned how to do research. Some of you were forced to learn how to do APA. And so from the very first paper that you wrote, and everyone kind of not necessarily struggling. Some had a little bit more of an advantage that they've seen some of these things before, or they've had me as a professor before, and so they were able to catch it a little bit quicker. But why you pay for a college education is to learn, to take your thinking to another level. And one thing that I try to do, and I don't like being called the APA police, and I've never been called that ever in my teaching career, and it's been over 20 years. But it's to have you think outside of the box, stretching your thoughts, because you're going to all find yourself, hopefully, and that's why you're here, is to get into management positions. And if you're in management positions, executive positions, and so forth, and you will make these decisions. And the harder the decisions or the more complex they are, the more you're pushed. You'll still see new things, but you'll have new insights, and you'll have a team of your own. And how do you manage them? I know a lot of you want that degree and you want to move on with your life, and I can appreciate that. I understand that. But it does start with some fundamentals, and a lot of you have a wealth of experience coming into here, and you need a college education for you to be able to move forward. And I have my thoughts on that with corporations. Why do they use a college education to discriminate against different positions and so forth? But that's something separate. But you do have your experience, and I want you to continue to grow with that experience and so forth. I know you're stressed with your other classes, with your life, your own families, and so forth. And so I do want to commend all of you, and I want you to reflect back from the very first paper that you wrote and say, oh, shoot, I'm stuck with this professor for 6 weeks. And it's not like the other classes. Anyway, for the most part, everyone can still do well. We still have a week left. If you are not doing well or have the grade that you want, I strongly recommend you to reach out to me, because what's going to happen is you're going to wait to the very last week or the last few days of class. And you're going to say, Mark, I am failing. How do I bring it up to a D or a C? And we could do that now, not then, because then you put me on the spot and then I have to grade your papers lots. And yes, I will grade them fairly, but think about it. Some of you have kids, some of you have management positions and so forth. Do you like when your kids or your coworkers procrastinate and then you're put on the spot to have to kind of accommodate them? And I will do that, but let's do it early. Let's get your grades up to par, and everyone in this class can be able to pass it. I don't care what your grade is. But you could bring it up to whatever grade level. There's 4 of them. So a lot of you can still get A's in this class, and a lot of you have done well. So I'm just talking to those that may be struggling a little bit. You'd be very relieved we do not have any discussions today. And I also want to ask, for those that were happy with me, would you please go ahead and give me some feedback and fill out that survey? With a small class like this, or in classes generally, those that aren't happy with the instructor, meaning your grade isn't what you wanted, I don't know how it becomes my fault, but they'll put your comments. And if you weren't happy and you still did well, I still want to hear. I could always use improvements. I'm always open for improvements. So those surveys are open and available for you as well. We're going to keep this class really, really short because it is the last one. So let's go ahead and we'll call it a day very, very quickly. Let me go up here and I'm going to share my screen. And it looks like it is wanting to share. And there it is. Perfect. Let's go into week number 6. Oh, okay. I'll post some videos. Anyway, let me go down here. And every day I'll tell you what I've graded. And so that if you have missing assignments, please tell me. Sometimes the program tells me you've resubmitted, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm pretty good at grading your papers within 24 hours. So if it's not graded within 24 hours, especially the last week of class, because I want to still give you that opportunity and that chance to be able to rewrite it. Everything technically is due on Friday. So everything is due on Friday and is late after that. So get everything in and then you are done. And some of you will be very, very relieved. Anyway, let's go over here to week number 6. And once it decides it wants to come up, there it is. The overview for this week, and it's a full week, is by the end of this module, you should be able to apply legal requirements for real-life marketing decisions and integrate the ethical best practices into marketing decision-making. Evaluate the role of corporate societal responsibilities in marketing decisions, and relate ethics and professional responsibility to marketing as well. You are expected to work in this class for 17 hours worth of work. That includes the reading and the different lessons. The project itself is 5 hours. Now, referring to the project last week, it was 3 pages. I said 3 whole pages. Some students decided to put headers at the top. Well, if you have a title page, you don't really need a header. So if you had this huge header, and then some had headers throughout the whole paper, and then you still gave me only 2.5 pages, that's not acceptable. So I took a third off of your paper. If I had it my way, you'd be writing a 20-page paper. Just one, but a 20-page paper. This is broken up over 6 weeks. And so it makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to, in essence, it's the same, but 3 pages is not a lot. Okay, so go back and revisit it, and then 3 pages. I have a student that's still not going to the online library. I don't know why. 3 resources have to come from the online library. Okay, otherwise you're getting doc points, and then it flows through the entire paper because it's really opinion. You went to the internet and you found someone with the same opinion, and it may be credible, such as the government. It could be some other university and so forth, and they may be credible, but they aren't challenged. Those resources at the online library, like I said the very first week, those are challenged. Other college professors will challenge the paper that's there, and then they get a debate going back and forth. And that's how college professors make their real money, is these articles, these interviews, these letters to the publisher and so forth. And so they get vetted. What's on the internet may or may not be vetted. From the government, yes, you can use those sources, but it may be biased in one direction or the other. I mean, it was interesting. I watched Dopesick this weekend, and I watched that other one. Same premise about pharma, Purdue Pharma, Dopesick, and can you believe I forgot the other name? Anyway, but it was about them. One was more humorous than the other in terms of their presentation of a very, very sad situation. But something interesting about the FDA, and I'm not picking on the FDA or I'm not picking on the government, but one thing that they did say is they take the results of the pharmaceutical companies, and then those numbers that are supposed to be accurate go into the approval of a drug. Agree or disagree, we're not getting into that. I'm just saying that happens in government research. Is Purdue Pharma. Part of it was scandalous about how they got their approval, about some of their numbers and so forth. And how it pertains to our class is the marketing effort behind OxyContin and how they approach doctors in terms of the sales force and so forth to push it, whether it was ethical, if it was not ethical, if it was legal. And they were found to have illegally, with false documentation and so forth, or not necessarily false, but not necessarily fully accurate. And so that's a nationalized marketing effort, but it happens day in and day out. What's the difference between pharma and too much sugar in a product? Okay, as a marketing person, if you're lying about the vitamin that you're putting out, but you're saying that you added sugar so the kids would want to take this vitamin more, is the side effect of this added sugar good or bad? That was kind of the premise of the paper. And yes, I agree, sugar is bad for kids. But what I'm really looking for, especially in this class, is how does that affect the reputation? How does the distrust of breaking ethics and legal standard? And that's what I'm looking for in terms of risk to the company. Okay. And that's what we were looking for. Yes, companies should be ethical and legal, but there's some companies that decide to go a little crazy, okay, and big crazy, as the example with Purdue, vitamin companies. Another one, Volkswagen, lying about their emissions, by putting on a magic chip that was supposed to make the engine more, uh, uh, I guess, efficient, but actually was more pollutant. So anyway, so we're going to transfer these skills through the introduction and marketing law and ethics. Your project, the whistleblowing hotline. Okay, you're to watch the video. If you are not watching the video, you aren't getting it. And you're supposed to spend 10 hours on this assignment. So, and then 1 hour on the live class, which I do not do, but I put in other videos for you to watch. And so that gives you the time to be able to get the time in. Anyway, so let's go ahead and your project. Your project today, don't worry, it's not a 3-page paper. And it is a 2 to 3 page paper. So we're back to that 2-page. Okay, 2 pages. No one had any issues with it. I threw in 3-page, and it wasn't me. It was whoever created the course. 3 pages, and y'all went nuts. Okay, not you all. I should not say it like that. A few of you went a little crazy. Okay, 3 whole pages. I don't need these huge elaborate titles. I don't know where they came from. I had a student actually make it font 18, not in today's class, but it's happened before. I guess they felt bad. They thought that I was getting old. I wear glasses and I needed a bigger font, which is not necessarily true. Anyway, so reviewed each incident and received from the whistleblower hotline and document below. Okay, answer the following questions. And see, here's the document. You need to read this too. So what legal and ethical issues do you see in the scenario? What do you think is the best course of action? And why is it best interest of the company and the community and also the environment? Remember, there are also laws protecting the whistleblower. So how did you apply your personal code of ethics and decisions that you wrote in your last paper and you brought them over here? And what guidelines would you provide someone in a similar situation? Okay, a similar situation. Okay, at least one credible resource per incident, giving a total of 3 resources. Remember, think about it from this standpoint. You are the marketing president and you are presenting to the CEO your contentions. And with that in mind, you have to support your contentions with outside fact. This is what I say, and this is someone that is even more credible and than me agrees with what I say. And that together gives you a strong paper. Because some people give me facts about other things, and that's not bad, but I'm really interested in your idea. And I want you to support your idea. If you can't find any support for your idea, maybe there's a problem with your idea. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Maybe you're revolutionary. I don't know. But I mean, ethics is just one of those courses that, and I don't really see anyone that was thinking way outside the box, but it's just your idea supported with a fact. It strengthens your idea. And then you can come and say, listen, Mark, I disagree with your grade because this is the fact. I got it from a legitimate source, not the Joe, whatever, Schmo website or Uncle Joe who's angry at Walmart. I get that too. Okay, so go ahead and give me that. Turn it all in. Here's the grading rubric and so forth. But I hope you do all read these documents in each assignment. It kind of guides you through it. These are the separate incidents. They've been through there throughout the entire term in the paper. So if you get lost, here's this is the what you had to write. This is the video that you watch, and here's the incidents below. So our magic word is we are done, comma, graduation. Okay, we are done, comma, graduation. I want to wish everyone the best of luck and whatever you do in your future endeavors. I've enjoyed having you for these 6 weeks, and I would say I'd like to see you online, but I will see you in your papers. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Martha, for coming.
Thank you.
I don't know where the turn off button is. Let me see here. There it is.